August 2011, Shanghai Rinji Hospital Ward 7 admitted 4 women in labor. After delivery, 3 mothers swore a 5th woman stayed in the ward, and every baby jolted awake at 3:15 a.m., all staring toward the bed in the northwest corner. 4th pregnant woman. Night in. Cameras saw a blanket on bed rise and sink, like someone lay down then stood. She was the only patient there. Ward 7 was at the end of the obstetrics hallway, facing north, and had one less window than the other rooms. In 2011's brutal heat, AC at 22 degrees Celsius couldn't stop water beads forming in room corner. First admitted, 29-year-old Lin Weiwei, baby misposition. So she checked in early. He was woken up in the middle of the night by the sound of babies crying. Opening his eyes, he saw that the newborns in the 3 cribs had all turned to face the empty bed in the northwest corner, their little heads tilted at the same angle. Maybe coincidence. Night nurse Xiao Tang logged it, but left it out of handoff report. 3 days on, Lin Weiwei birthed a girl. Early on day 2 after birth, she asked the rounding doctor, "When did the woman next door leave?" She still ached all night. "Why didn't I hear the nurse come?" The doctor froze. That northwest corner bed had been locked down for 2 weeks before Lin Weiwei arrived there. After Lin Weiwei left, Ward 7A admitted Sun Li, pregnant. On his first night bedside, her husband complained, "Why is a pregnant woman here hauling water alone? With that belly, it's dangerous." Sun Li looked where her husband was pointing. On the empty bed in the northwest corner was a light blue thermos, with steam still rising from it. After delivery, Sun Li demanded a new room. The woman in that bed kept sobbing behind the curtain, yet stayed silent when offered help. Nurse found scattered wet spots on tiles by the empty bed, like barefoot prints, yet maternity wards strictly forbid going barefoot. Third is migrant worker Zhao Chunma, taciturn, who at night lies awake, eyes wide open. Just before dawn on postpartum day 3, the monitor room guard saw Ward 7 glitch. All 4 cribs rocked faintly, as if nudged one after another. In the northwest, an empty bed sheet billowed without wind, slowly lifting into a human-shaped outline, then collapsing after 13 seconds, and the feed returned to normal again. The guard burst in. Zhao Chunmai huddled at the bed's foot, clutching her baby. Trembling, he tried touching my baby. His hand was icy. The OB chief chose to shut Ward 7 for now, but that evening Su Xiao was rushed in with preeclampsia. Only Ward 7 had a bed. Su Xiao is a late first-time mom. Her husband's overseas, with only one aide beside her. 2:47 a.m., caregiver dozed bedside. 3:15 sharp, Su Xiao jolted awake in bone-cold chills suddenly. She saw a figure sitting on the empty bed in the northwest corner. Its back to her. It had long, waist-length hair, and was gently rocking its arms in the posture of cradling a baby. Worse, Su Xiao saw the air right in front of the figure ripple, sketching a baby shape, transparent, only a faint outline. Cradled by a shadow, gently rocked, Su Xiao stayed silent, eyes shut, playing asleep. She felt the shadow climb from bed. Bare feet tapped the tile with light pat-pat sounds in the dark nearby. It slowly walked from the northwest corner to her bedside, and a scent mixed with disinfectant and a sweet, metallic odor filled the air. Cold and slick, as if just pulled from formaldehyde, gently rested on her swollen belly. The next day, Su Xiao adamantly requested an early C-section. The surgery was scheduled for 10 a.m. At 9:30, as a nurse wheeled her out of the room, Su Xiao glanced one last time at the northwest corner. In the depression of the empty bed's pillow, a small wet stain had appeared, shaped like the profile of a baby's face. Surgery went smoothly. Baby boy, 9 pounds, all vitals normal. But after returning to the ward, Su Xiao began to have auditory hallucinations. She kept hearing a faint cry, like the intermittent sobs of an exhausted infant, and the sound always came from the northwest corner. On postpartum day 3, Su Xiao could walk for no reason. She went to the empty bed and found a yellowed paper corner wedged in the mattress seam. He drew a slip, a 2003 hospitalization copy. The name was blurred by water, yet the diagnosis read, stillbirth in utero, 32 weeks, induced labor. Bottom had a tiny handwritten note, fetus still undelivered, mother discharged, follow-up recommended. Trembling, Su Xiao turned it over and saw a simple floor plan of the maternity ward drawn in blue ballpoint pen. The bed in the northwest corner was heavily circled, and next to it were written 3 words, "Give it back to me." Late that night, Su Xiao was startled awake by the cry of a baby. It wasn't her son's cry, but a thinner, sharper wail coming from the northwest corner. She turned on her phone's flashlight and shone it over. On the white sheet of the empty bed, a dark red stain was slowly spreading. The shape swelled, becoming a woman's profile cradling a baby. "Ah!" Su Xiao screamed. The nurse rushed in quickly. But when the nurse burst in, the bed was empty. Only Su Xiao curled at foot, babbling nonsense. While the nurse soothed him, she suddenly noticed something extra in Su Xiao's crib. There was a discontinued 90s plastic pacifier. Pacifier rubber is aged and cracked, stuffed with a small yellowed paper roll. In a childish hand, one line is written again and again, covering front and back fully. "Mom, why don't you want me? Mom, why? Why won't you keep me now?" Ward 7 was sealed forever, turned into a storage room. But an unwritten rule circulated among the veteran nurses in the maternity ward. The spot in the northwest corner where a bed had once been, though now removed, must never be used to store any items related to babies. Once, a new nursing aide temporarily placed a box of diapers there. That night, every monitor blared at once. All newborns' oxygen saturation inexplicably fell, then normalized again only after diapers were removed. In 2018, the hospital was being renovated. Workers found a rusty iron box in the wall cavity of Ward 7. Inside was a maternity diary from 2003. The last page read, "They said they'll use medicine tomorrow to stop his heartbeat. I'm sorry, baby. Mommy is weak. Mommy doesn't dare to have you." In the diary lay a black and white ultrasound. The fetus was formed. On the back, a blood-red pen wrote one tiny line of small text. The handwriting was completely different from the diaries, crooked and slanted like a young child just learning to write. "It's okay, Mommy. I've waited for you." On the day the iron box was found, 3 mothers who had given birth in Ward 7 that year all called at the same time, asking if something had happened at the hospital. They all had the same dream of a soaking wet woman holding a baby whose face couldn't be seen, standing by their bedsides and whispering, "Your baby is so warm. Can you share a little with me? Just a little bit." Meanwhile, the head nurse on duty that night, while making her rounds, heard the clear sound of a lullaby being hummed from within the original location of the long-sealed Ward 7. It was the decades-old hit, "Little Swallow." Hoarse, tender humming suddenly broke halfway into stifled quiet sobs. The head nurse didn't open that door. He just silently placed a small can of formula at the entrance. The next morning, the can of formula was knocked over on the floor, the snow-white powder spilling everywhere, forming a small trail as if an infant had crawled through it. The trail extended all the way to the fire escape door and then vanished. After that, every month on the night of the 15th, the maternity duty nurse could hear in the fire stairwell a faint rustle like a crawling baby, and a woman softly humming part of "Little Swallow," always cutting off at the line. Year after year, spring comes here, then falling silent, as if waiting for someone to finish the half line he left unsung at last.